Welcome in, everybody, once again to Titans Tube. My name is Justin. This is Jake with me as always. What's up, Jake? How you doing? You ready for some Titans football on Sunday?
I am very much ready for some Titans football. I am making a short excursion down to attend this game. I know some commenters are weary about me attending games after Cincinnati, but hopefully being in the home stands and the home bleachers will make a little bit of a difference this time.
That's true. You're not going to see the away Titans. You're coming home to see the home Titans, so hopefully we have better fortune there. If not, then just screw all teams from Ohio. I'm sorry, but your state is a curse to the 2020 Titans if we drop this game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't take any offense to that. It's just something you got to deal with. Hey, Ohio is blessed to be one of the few states that has two NFL teams. So I will take credit for that. But yes, I don't take any offense to your.
You'll take credit.
Hatred.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, the Titans, a matchup of two 8-3 teams. This Cleveland Browns team is looking for their first postseason berth since 2002. Someone check my history on that, but I think that's correct. The last time these two teams played, Jake, it feels like several years ago, honestly. It's so weird to think back that these two teams played last year in week one. But there's been so much has happened. We've gone through a roller coaster season and made it to the AFC Championship game and this and that, and now we're meeting again. And also, in that game, what makes it feel like a distant memory is that Marcus Mariota threw two touchdown passes to Delaney Walker. That's like
ancient. That's ancient Titans
history. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that was the game. You know, a lot of people were hyping up the Browns week one. They were getting a lot of attention, and the Titans just came in and steamrolled them. It was probably my favorite opening week one games as a Titans fan to watch, just completely obliterating the Browns on the road. Browns, I guess, did end up living up to the hype. It just took another year for that to happen because, like I said, they're coming into this game at 8-3. One of those wins, I think their best win did come against the Indianapolis Colts, but a lot of criticism about this 8-3 record is a lot of teams that they've beaten aren't above 500 top-tier teams. I think except for the Colts is the one team that they beat that's pretty good and also looking to make a playoff run. So I don't know. What do you think about this 8-3 record? Are these guys as good as their record shows? I mean, all they can do is win the games that are in front of them, and that's what
exactly. And I was thinking about this, as we made the preview and kind of massaged our preview document we have here, and I was thinking about it, and the Titans kind of maybe in the same boat as this Browns team. I don't want to say the Titans' 8-3 record is a farce. We know the Titans are a good, proven playoff team. They kind of have a formula in front of them. And, I mean, the Browns do too. They're a power run game, just like the Titans. If you look at the Titans schedule in contrast to the Browns, Justin, I mean, quality wins have only really come lately. I mean, look at the Baltimore win in overtime with Lamar Jackson playing in that one, obviously. And then the Colts last week.
We got the Bills too. We beat
the Bills was a good win. Yes,
but that was a weird Tuesday night game, and I think the Bills kind of got screwed a little bit with how the scheduling and that. I forgot what exactly happened. Was that game moved up or something?
I'm not sure. It's just one of the weird kind of anything can happen games. I think, but so yes, the Titans. But it was have about I would say the Titans have 3 quality wins on their schedule. I think the Browns probably have 2. But look at this Browns team. They beat Cincinnati twice, and that's something the Titans can't even say. And it's kind of I maybe agree with the argument. I don't think Baker Mayfield's as good of a quarterback to have an 8-3 record. I think it's obviously the two-headed monster that they have in the backfield. And Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt is kind of carrying a lot of that load. And I think the Browns defense is decent. But I don't know. I feel like the Browns are just about right. They're winning the games that are put in front of them, and that's in the NFL, that's what gets it done, and that's what pays the bills.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. All right. Yeah. Let's get into this matchup then. Talking about these category advantages here. Jake, we'll start off with you here talking about the Titans' pass offense versus the Browns' pass defense that's suffering a big blow to that secondary. What's going on?
No doubt. Denzel Ward missed last week. He's going to miss this week as well. He's among the league leaders in passes defense, I believe. And then Ronnie Harrison Jr. has been missing. He's on IR. So yeah, just there's two big pieces of this Browns secondary out. They rank 20th in the league in yards per game at 246 allowed. The Titans are coming into this one 22nd pass offense at 227 yards a game. And I was kind of thinking about this, Justin, too. It doesn't feel like we're watching the 22nd ranked pass offense. It feels better than that.
Yeah.
But then again, you look at the stat sheet and Derrick Henry's racking up 150, 175 yards, in a couple of weeks here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of maybe a skewed statistic. I don't think the Titans are that bad of a pass offense. So, but anyways, coming into this one, stepping in for Denzel Ward is going to be Kevin Johnson. On the other side of him is going to be Terrence Mitchell at the other corner. Safeties Carl Joseph and Andrew Sandejo, who I think has been kind of an underwhelming. I talked to a few Browns fans up here in Ohio, and they haven't been happy. He was one of their kind of splashier signings in the offseason, kind of shore up the defense, and he's kind of had some underwhelming statistics than what was maybe expected of him. I still think he's a solid player, but not maybe living up to that free agent splash, if you will.
Right.
On the Titans side, Jonnu Smith is out, which I think sucks major in this game. That's taken away. I think he's a great blocker, A, for Derrick Henry, but B, we've seen it when he gets the ball in space. He's dangerous, and I think he's a big receiving threat.
What happened? I don't remember seeing him get hurt against the Colts. It just must have been a dinged up thing, and then after the game, they evaluated him, and they're like, oh, this could be – you could be out for some time for this, because I don't remember him like limping off the field or anything like that. But
I know he's been kind of hampered with an ankle, lower leg kind of stuff. We'll kind of monitor that. But we do have a plus with Jonnu Smith being out, is that Adam Humphries is returning to this lineup, and I couldn't be more excited, Justin. He is the third down go-to target for Ryan Tannehill. I can't wait to watch him catch several 5-yard outs right at the first down marker, and it's going to be a tough contested catch. That's kind of just what Adam Humphries does. And I think it's been missing from this Titans offense. He's going to give Ryan Tannehill a security blanket. I think the offense is going to be more rhythmic around having Humphries return. I think Ryan Tannehill has to step up in this game, Justin. He's got to not succumb to Myles Garrett's pass rush, for one. I'm a little worried about our tackle situation right now with Myles Garrett floating around. He's a dangerous guy. But, I would like to see Tannehill light it up one of these weeks, go for over 300 passing yards. I know that's not the Titans' philosophy or what gets them wins. We obviously know Derrick Henry is the one carrying the major load here. Tannehill just kind of has to be that consistent kind of guy. I don't want to call him a game manager, because Ryan Tannehill, in my opinion, is a top 10 quarterback in this league. I think he's much more than a game manager.
Oh, yeah.
But Ryan Tannehill just has to kind of do his thing. But I would like to see him step up in this game and take on a hampered Browns secondary and maybe put up 300 plus. I would like to see it. I don't know. What do you think?
I think, Oh, for sure. I think he can. And I think we're kind of going into this game. And I think, with the way this offense has been playing since the second half of the Ravens game and then the whole first half of the Colts game and how we were just rolling – and coming into this game, and especially looking at the dinged-up secondary, you got no Denzel Ward, no Ronnie Harrison Jr. back there. I think we can beat the Browns, if not with Derrick Henry, then through the air. I would almost love to see, and this is kind of getting into my keys a little bit, but I would love to see Arthur Smith coming out and calling pass plays and being more like a pass-first team, kind of jump out to a lead so that the Browns are forced to kind of play from behind, with Nick Chubb, and it's hard to do running the football when you're down by a couple scores. So I would love to see, more of a Ryan Tannehill focused offense and getting the ball to these weapons. Davis, A.J. Brown, I think they can do work in that secondary now without some of their key pieces. Adam Humphries is back. You mentioned Jonnu Smith being out. Are we also getting back Michael Pruitt to
I don't believe so.
I
don't believe so. So it's going to be, our guy, Anthony Ferkser, hashtag Ferks down. Make sure to tag us whenever you post your Ferks down anecdotes. Yeah. But and then we're going to have Swain behind him. So it's going to be a little bit of a thin tight end room, but you have a receiving threat in Ferkser. I think he can also put his head down and block. And then you have Swain, who showed pass catching ability in the Colts game last week, kind of also stepping up, and he is kind of more their run blocker. Luke Stalker, Craig Stevens-esque, as we've been calling him.
Yes.
But he does have pass catching ability. I don't think the tight end position is that much a concern in this one, especially with Corey Davis playing the way he's playing, getting Adam Humphries back. A.J. Brown is obviously damn near elite. Not quite, but right on the fringe. I would give us the advantage here, even though Cleveland statistically, as far as yards per game goes, has the better end of this matchup. But again, I think Ryan Tannehill is a top 10 quarterback. I think A.J. Brown and Corey Davis and the weapons around Tannehill are enough for them to do some damage in this game. So I'm going to give us the advantage here, Justin.
Agreed. Yeah, as long as the pass protection can hold up, I think we can go into this game with more of that pass-heavy focus with Tannehill because, they're getting Myles Garrett back. He's not only great sacking the quarterback, but he's a great run stopper too. He's just an all-around superstar for that defense. And I guess we'll go ahead and get into this officially. Titans running offense versus this Browns front seven and their rush defense. They're no slouch. Titans coming in second in rush yards per game at 158. Is Cleveland first? Are they number one?
Cleveland is first. This is the number 1 versus number 2 rush offense in the NFL.
This is old school ground
and
pound.
Old school December football. Yeah.
Yes.
You love it.
Yes. But against the run, they're pretty solid. They're top 10. They're number 9, giving up 108 yards per game. And that's with Myles Garrett missing 2 games. And it's not just him. Their whole defensive line is pretty solid. Sheldon Richardson is great. Larry.
Joby.
Joby. I'll just call him. I want to call him Larry.
Good old Larry.
I couldn't. I was afraid to try to pronounce the name. And the only thing they ever hated, Olivier Vernon, is also on that line. Titans fans hate him for. I think he hurt Mariota in his rookie year, and I think there was something else when he was with the Dolphins in that Storm game. Was he the one that knocked out Taylor Lewan or something on
He might have been in that scuffle.
Yeah. So not in good graces with Olivier Vernon whatsoever. But man, these guys are good. Myles Garrett has 9.5 sacks. I think that's more than Simmons and Landry and Daquan Jones. I think our entire defense combined. We don't have 9.5 sacks. And I think it was Sheldon Richardson Vernon has 5 sacks. So they have 2 or 3 guys that have more sacks than our leading sacker.
Yeah.
And on the second level of that defense, they got a pretty solid group of linebackers as well with Mac Wilson, Malcolm Smith, the previous Super Bowl MVP with the Seahawks so many years ago. He's still around. I didn't even know he was, playing, I guess. I don't watch enough Browns games. But Taki is also one of their starters at linebacker. But they are led in tackles by B.J. Goodson, who not only leads them in tackles, but he leads them in interceptions, tied with Denzel Ward, actually, with 2 interceptions on the season. So kind of a do-everything, very multiple type linebacker there. So it's a solid front seven. And it's there's good reason why they are top 10 in rush defense. So and a lot of people, after last week are trying to talk about, what does Derrick Henry have to do to get 2,000 yards? Is that within range? I think it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to run up 170 yards like he did last week with a healthier Browns team. Colts did have some major missing pieces on that front seven last week. So it'll be tough going. And like I said, I'm feeling like Arthur Smith is going to come in kind of pass heavy off the bat, just maybe switch it up, catch them on their toes, test out that Browns secondary with our receivers. But it's December and it's Derrick Henry. You can't not give us the advantage in this category, right? I mean, the king has arrived to his favorite month of the year. So I would give us a slight edge, but you got to give props, respect for that Browns front seven. It's going to be a huge game for David Quessenberry. He better strap up his Quessen boots and get ready to go to work against one of the best pass rushers in the NFL.
Strapping up his Quessen boots. I love it. Yeah. I love it. That's exactly what he's going to have to do. Yeah. No.
I tried.
That's exactly what he's going to have to do. I'm still going to give the advantage here. It's kind of like the old adage, don't bet against Tom Brady, or, the new one, don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I'm not going to not give the advantage to Derrick Henry until proven otherwise. And, D-Hember, as some fans coin it, is here. This is when he does most of his damage, and we've seen him kind of ramping up over the past 2 games, especially Baltimore and Indianapolis, obviously. I don't know about the Derrick Henry goes for 2,000 yards conversation, I think that's a little jumping the gun here.
Yeah.
He needs to average
We'll
like
see.
150 a game.
Yeah.
He's going to have one where he goes for over 200 if he even wants to be close to that, I think. Because, teams are going to strap up and try and stop him every week. We've seen
we play the Jags still. I mean, so there's your 200-yard game. That's easy.
Yeah, they're perfect. Yes. Maybe jumping the gun on 2,000 yards. And I especially just because, maybe spoiler alert, I'm going to pick the Titans to win this game. But
jumping the gun there. That's okay.
Yeah, jumping the gun. But I don't think, maybe come week 16, week 17, that Derrick Henry is going to be playing all that much. I think, I don't think the Titans have a shot to get the bye. And so, if they can kind of wrap up the AFC South, wrap up where they're going to be in that playoff positioning, he's not going to be playing week 17. You're going to want him as fresh as can be. We saw it last year in the Saints game where it's a game where he might have gone. It's the Titans. The Titans did not need to win that game, and they sat him, and it seemed to work out. So as far as Derrick Henry 2,000 yards go, I think people need to pump the brakes a touch. I've even seen MVP rumblings. As much as I would love that, he's going to need to get 2,000 yards to, I think, capture the MVP.
I would rather have a rested sub 2,000-yard Henry for the playoffs than for him to be, kind of gassed. Going into the playoffs, still carrying the ball 30 times a game. Like, we don't want that 2,000 yards that bad. But
exactly.
Yeah.
But, I'm definitely giving us the advantage in this rush offense versus the Browns defense. But I think it could be tough sledding. It could be 3 yards in a cloud of dust type game with this Browns front seven. So we'll see how it goes. I have faith in Derrick Henry. And even with, maybe a beat-up offensive line, I think we mentioned Saffold is questionable. I think he's going to strap up again to play in this game. But even with a weaker offensive line, we've seen the Titans be able to get that run kind of push on the offensive line. So I'm going to give us the advantage.
Yeah, agreed. I think that our offense, I don't want to stick my foot in my mouth after the game, but I think we can pass the ball on this defense and run the ball. And that's not saying anything bad about their defense. I just think that's how humming our offense is right now. I mean, they're really feeling themselves doing what they did last week against the Colts. But anyway, so we got double advantages on the offensive side of the ball. So let's switch over to the defensive side of the ball. Let's talk about this Titans pass defense going up against this Browns pass offense. Both bottoms in the league in terms of yards per game, at least. Titans 28th in most yards per game given up, and Cleveland 30th in pass yards per game at 194. So weakness on weakness. No Odell Beckham Jr., of course, going out for the season a couple months ago. Secondary has been better. Malcolm Butler apparently low-key is having a fantastic season according to PFF.
It was news to me.
He's good.
It was news to me. He's third in Pro Bowl voting and corners.
Yeah.
I mean, who was voting for this guy? Titans fans might not even be voting for him.
I know. People are kind of have been dogging him. He seems like he's been up and down, but I didn't notice him at all. And really even the past 2 games. And that's a great thing. That means he's doing his job. I don't want to see any Malcolm Butler highlights unless it's him getting an interception. It means he's locking down his guy. Butler's having a good season. Obviously Breon Borders, and then the 2 additions of Breon Borders and Desmond King has definitely improved this secondary. There's no question about it. Desmond King, this is a guy that we brought in to line up against these Jarvis Landry types, I think. These slot kind of built receivers that Jarvis Landry is. And he's very diverse. He can line up on the outside too, and maybe we'll see Butler matched up with him on the outside a little bit. But Jarvis Landry in the slot, that's the guy that you want to put Desmond King onto. I think that's his bread and butter position in the secondary. So that'll be an interesting matchup to watch in this game with those 2 guys going at it, because really that's like their one receiver. The guys after him, Rashad Higgins, decent backup, but he doesn't really scare you as a number 2 receiver. Donovan Peoples-Jones, I think, is going to be stepping up. I think he barely has 100 yards receiving on the year because they have another depth guy that's out. I nearly forgot, again, that Taywan Taylor is on this Browns roster, and I had to look it up. I had to look up stats. Jake, he has recorded 1 target this year, and he recorded 1 target last year. So since joining the Browns, he has 2 targets, no catches. What's up with him and then Tajay Sharp? like barely even, not even getting to see the field at all. These number 3, number 4 receivers that, you know, they at least had 400, 500 yards for us in the season, aren't doing diddly squat for these teams that they were signed by. So I don't know what's going on there. But this overall, my point is these receivers don't scare you, minus Jarvis Landry. Definitely going to have to try to take him out of the game. But kind of like with the Baltimore Ravens and the Colts having, you know, a pass-catching running back, and the Ravens, their most lethal receiver is a tight end. The Browns have Austin Hooper at tight end. They have Kareem Hunt as more of their pass-catching running back specialist. But, he can run the ball just as fine, too. But these are also 2 receivers that we're going to have to lock down because Hooper and Hunt are great pass catchers for that Browns team. So, I'm looking at those 3 weapons, you know, Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper, Kareem Hunt out of the backfield for this Titans team to have to slow down for this Baker Mayfield-led passing game. So I don't know. What do you think? I'm not, kind of like how the stats say, I'm not really blown away by either side here. Also, if it's a pass category, you can talk about the pass protection, but Jack Conklin, another former Titan, who must be having a great year, looking at these 2 running backs having a great year. So, we're going to have to try to get pressure on Baker and make it hard for him, but, you know, they're going to be giving the ball to the 2 running backs. I don't think this passing category is going to be a huge factor in this game.
Yeah, so funny that, you know, we're recording the preview tonight. I was out running some errands earlier today, listening to some, you know, Ohio sports talk radio, and the host said they actually record the show down the street from my house. We have kind of a radio station down the street, and he said that he would take Baker Mayfield over Ryan Tannehill. And I've never been, A, more close to calling in, and B, I said, you know what, forget calling in. I'm going to meet him in the parking lot at the radio station down the street because that is absurd. I don't crazy. Believe in Baker Mayfield as a quarterback yet. I think he can maybe be the guy for Cleveland. He's not the guy yet. And I want to highlight a specific play last week he had against the Jags where he had Kareem Hunt coming out of the backfield on kind of, you know, one of those L routes for a running back. And then he had a guy just absolutely butt naked, wide open, coming across the middle for a touchdown. And he just missed him. He missed them both. Kareem Hunt was open, didn't even look at him.
Missed the read or missed the throw?
He missed the throw. It was over his head. I might even download it and show it here. But
no pass off on this play. Great pick on the corner route. And that one?
It was horrible, Justin. I don't believe in Baker Mayfield. He doesn't scare me at all. Frankly, I think he can panic in situations, especially if this godforsaken Titans pass rush can get to him and get him rattled. They don't. I mean, this passing offense doesn't stand a chance. Now, I think the Titans' pass defense has gotten tremendously better since Desmond King got here, since Breon Borders is seeing snaps, addition by subtraction by getting rid of Jonathan Joseph, I believe. So, I don't know. The 28th ranked pass defense, yes, you would like to see it be better. But I think the eye test here, I think the Titans are getting the advantage here just because Baker Mayfield can make mistakes. While he hasn't made the crucial mistakes this year, and that's why the Browns are 8-3, he's more of the game manager kind of guy as compared to, you know, the rushing attack for the Browns carrying the load. But I'm going to give the Titans pass defense the advantage. And I just want Kevin Byard to show up one time and bait Baker into an interception. Please. I know Kevin Byard can outsmart Baker Mayfield. And you know, going back to even the game last year, they kind of had the same weapons around Baker Mayfield. I mean, sans Kareem Hunt, but he threw 3 picks. He looked absolutely terrible. I know that's, you know, now a year and a half ago, but albeit I like the Titans pass defense here just because Baker Mayfield does not scare me.
Yeah, and Kevin Byard, I know it was a different Cleveland quarterback, but he had a 3-interception game against the Browns a few years ago. Need that Kevin Byard to show back up. Would love to see that. Yeah, just don't let Baker get in a rhythm. Hopefully this as long as we get pressure on him, I trust our pass defense to do their job against these weapons. And I guess what happened to David Njoku? We did not mention him, but he's kind of a big athletic tight end.
Checking the depth chart, he was down at 3rd in the depth chart. I know he had a little bit of injury this year, I think. But yeah, it's kind of a mystery. He's kind of disappeared. Austin Hooper's kind of stepped up as a big splash free agent coming into that room. But yeah, even if the Browns had Odell Beckham Jr. or in this lineup, they still don't scare me that much. I just don't believe in the Browns passing offense.
All right, well, I got to go with you. All right, let's take that advantage too. Then going to be a different story here, though, Jake. If you want to. I stole two of the talking categories there from you right in a row. So if you want to take this last one, Titans got their work cut out for them. This is one of the most unique offenses I think this defenses have faced. We haven't really faced a true two-headed monster running attack, which is this team's bread and butter. I mean, we faced Dalvin Cook, and that's a great run-heavy offense as well there. But, yeah, two guys that can get it done on the ground. How do you see this matchup playing out, Jake?
We prefaced it earlier. It's number one in the Cleveland Browns rushing offense and number two in the Titans rushing offense. So obviously this Cleveland rush offense is nothing to sneeze at. They're first in the NFL, 161 yards a game. Their highlight back obviously is Nick Chubb. Whereas, when he gets a breather, they bring in somebody debatably just as good, Justin. I think if Kareem Hunt got the volume of carries that Nick Chubb gets, then I think he's putting up similar numbers. We've seen Kareem Hunt kind of have a resurgence in his career with the Cleveland Browns. And I think the X factor is going to be this Titans front seven. It's if Rashaan Evans can show up to play, fly to the football like we've seen him do, maybe inconsistently, but we've seen Rashaan Evans be able to make plays. Big Jeff Simmons is questionable in this one. Again, I think he's going to strap up the Simmons boots. Doesn't quite fit as good as Quesson boots, but strap up his boots and play. Gonna have to have Jeff Simmons because he is just an absolute wrecking ball there in the middle. He's gonna make a big impact, I think, in this game. Look for Daquan Jones to also step up, and we'll see how this linebacking crew, this kind of shuffled linebacker group for the Titans, can adjust. With Will Compton and David Long coming in. So we'll see. Obviously, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, best duo in the NFL. We have here, they're both over 700 yards. I mean, the Browns could very realistically maybe have a year with two 1,000-yard rushers.
Yeah,
and that's insane. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Looking at the Browns' offensive line, a familiar face comes around Nashville, Justin. Jack Conklin, who's been playing at a very high level for this Browns offensive line. You love to see the success for Jack Conklin, but hopefully it won't come this weekend in Nissan Stadium. We knew it was be kind of a gamble letting him go to pay Jadeveon Clowney, I guess. I guess it was worth it. Not really. But Jack Conklin's coming back to town, so nice
is
reunion
Clowney
there.
No, Clowney's not back for us. Is he going to be back this year? Man.
Maybe for the playoffs. It's kind of like an Adoree Jackson thing, I think. I think they're just shelving those guys till late in the year, see if you can go, if you can go. But, I'm going to give the advantage to this Browns rushing offense just because, they're the best rushing offense in the NFL, Justin. I think they have a two-headed monster incomparable to anybody else in the NFL. So this Titans run defense has improved since the first 3 weeks. They were dead last, I think, for a week or two in rush offense in the beginning of the year. They've climbed all the way up to 17th. They allow 115 yards a game, but we've seen, they bottled up the Ravens rushing offense enough. I mean, yes, they ended up with over 100 yards in that game, but they held everybody in check. Dobbins
and
was
Colts.
Yeah,
and Colts too was like under 60 yards for them as a team. Yeah. No Jonathan Taylor for the Colts, but still, and they're not really a great rushing team anyway. But still, got to give credit to our rush defense. Yeah, I think you're right. They are playing better for sure.
Yeah, they definitely buckled down, but again, you got to side with the team who's number one in the NFL in the category. I mean, it's just how it is.
Man, yeah, I agree. Yeah, so yeah, they definitely have the advantage there. It's going to be a run versus run. There's going to be a lot of running backs here that we're going to be seeing in this game. Lastly, let's briefly go over special teams. There's ex-Titans revenge games all across the board, it seems like, because we have another one in Cody Parkey, one of many kickers who's having a great season. Why? Where was this last year, kickers? This is unreal. He's 15 of 17 on the season.
I will contend, Justin, I think Cody Parkey was the best kicker the Titans have had since prime suck-up. He was 3 of 3 last year on field goals and 5 of 6 on extra points, but it was when suck-up came off of IR.
Oh.
We sided with him, ended up being not the right move, and now, he's 15 of 17 on the year for field goals. So
I kind of misspoke then. Cody Parkey did not have a terrible stint with the Titans at all, not like Cairo Santos or Ryan Suckup, or wasn't there
statistically, he's the best Titans kicker we've had in a couple years.
Yeah, and of course we let him go. But hey, Gostowski's been good. He's been good. It's been a few weeks since he's missed a kick, so maybe
knock on wood.
Yeah, please. So I don't know. He's still hard to trust him. I think you said it last week. He's going to have to string together several games of no misses before we can feel confident trotting him out there for a field goal. And they've got the what they call the Scottish Hammer and Jamie Gillian at punter. And that's funny.
He's got luscious locks. He's kind of an average punter. He's got a 45-yard per punt average on the season. I'm still going to take Brett Kern over him, but I'm going to take Cody Parkey, Titans kicking god, over Gostkowski in this matchup. So I don't know. I think special teams is a push here. Do you see any different here?
Yeah,
sure. We'll take it.
I don't know. I don't know where the return game factors in for the Browns or who their guy is, but we got an edge on punter. Browns have an edge on kicker. We'll call that a push. So,
and good God, is it great to have Brett Kern back?
Man,
oh my goodness!
Love watching
inside the 10 galore. Sometimes I'm happy when the Titans don't convert a third down, just so I can see a punt. How beautiful the punts are! It's as opposed to
It's like we're desperate for a scoring drive here, but I kind of want Tannehill to throw an incompletion so we get another Kern punt. That's one of my favorite parts of the game.
Oh man, you gotta love Brett Kern. I don't know. You want to hop into some predictions and keys to the game that you might have?
It's going to be simple for me. With these two running attacks, I think it's whatever team shuts down the opposing rush attack is going to come out on top. Whoever has more success stopping the run's probably going to win the game. Mm-hmm. And I know I said Ryan Tannehill and this passing offense can probably get it done if Henry's shut down, but that's still that's asking a lot. I think if you're a Browns fan, you're coming into this game thinking that your key is to get this Titans offense off the field and to control and pace the game with Chubb and Hunt. Especially third downs. You gotta have success on forcing the Titans off the field on third down. So I kind of think it's a similar thing for the Titans as well. Got to shut down Chubb and Hunt. That's what it's going to come down to for this Titans team to win. I don't know. They could go off. I could see them combining for over 200 yards, a few touchdowns, and Tannehill and the offense can also go off, passing the ball and all that. So it could be kind of a shootout, except their version of a shootout would be to continue running the ball instead of passing. But I don't know. I think it just kind of comes down to that. Got to keep it simple. Got to take care of the ball. Tannehill has been fantastic in taking care of the ball, minus like a few head-scratching throws. But, he's I don't think he's fumbled. I think he has maybe 4 picks on the season. I think the Titans lead the league in fewest giveaways, and that's a huge indication of our 8-3 record as well. Turnovers are massive in football. So take care of the ball and got to shut down those 2 running backs. I think the Titans will get the win 27-20. That's my final score prediction.
I like it. Sounds good. Yeah, I think, this game has the potential to be a shootout, but the Titans, all of a sudden, you take Marcus Mariota out of the equation, insert Ryan Tannehill, and they're one of the most lethal scoring offenses in the league. Yes, the passing statistics are not going to wow you. The Titans are the 22nd best passing offense. Whatever. They can score points, Justin, and they capitalize off turnovers. They convert their red zone trips to touchdowns. And that kind of has been the difference in, putting up maybe 30-plus points when the defense wasn't doing so great, and they end up winning those games. So as far as a shootout's concerned, the Titans win 10 times out of 10 against a Baker Mayfield-led offense in a shootout, in my opinion, because then you're going to kind of force the Browns' hand to throw the ball a little bit. And I think my key to the game is to make the Browns one-dimensional, make them hand it off a whole bunch of times, and that way you can maybe crowd the line and do some things to stop this rushing attack. Second, I'm going to agree with you. Win the turnover battle. The Titans haven't had a problem doing that this season. Again, another knock on wood situation. But, yeah. Just take care of the football. Stick to your game plan. And when the Titans do that, they're one of the better teams in the NFL, frankly. And it may just be kind of this cocky arrogance after convincing win against the Colts and then getting the Lamar Jackson-led Ravens again in Baltimore. I'm kind of riding high a little bit.
We got confidence now. I mean,
exactly. After losing 3 of 4, the Titans have now won 3 of 4 and look damn good doing it. If you just scratch the first Indianapolis game,
right.
But anyways, I think this Titans defense has to come to play, make the Browns one-dimensional. I like the get out to an early lead anecdote you had said earlier. I would like Ryan Tannehill to throw the ball quite a bit in this game. I'd like to see it. Yes, you obviously would love to see the King get over 100 yards, but I would like to see Ryan Tannehill go for 300 plus one time as well.
Yeah,
I think he can do it on Sunday. So my prediction of the game was going to be 28-20, but I won't go that close to you. Well, I won't go that close to you. I'll go.
I read you.
Let's see here. I'll go 24-19.
Okay.
Titans win.
Yes. I'll take it. We'll take the W. We'll take the W. And man, this would be just a huge AFC win. I mean, we would have tiebreakers over Baltimore, which they're looking like they might just be out of it at this point after that Steelers game. Over Buffalo, we'd have it over Baltimore. We have a split tiebreaker on Indianapolis, but then we'd own a tiebreaker against the Browns. So if it came down to like maybe if we did unfortunately give up the division to the Colts down the stretch, we'd probably be the top-seeded wildcard team if we can get this win and own this tiebreaker over Cleveland, which would be fine, which would be great. But, we need to win this division, get a home playoff game. But, yeah, pretty big game, and it's especially big for the Browns too. I mean, they're going to come out and try to play the best game of the season, and because they have a chip on their shoulder, they're going to want to prove that they can beat an AFC contender, because that's kind of their criticism, which isn't their fault necessarily. I mean, they could have beaten Pittsburgh, but they didn't. They did beat the Colts. They could have beaten the Ravens. They got destroyed by the Ravens, I think, first week of the season. So they're going to want to change that narrative. So they're going to be gunning for us here in this game. So it's going to be tough. Big game for both teams. So, yeah, that's all I got. Hopefully the Titans can get it done, come out on top, and just keep rolling right through December.
No doubt. And, yeah, I mean, Titans fans, this isn't your grandpa's Browns. They're 8-3, and they have a damn good rushing attack. They have a defense that can do enough. And Baker Mayfield isn't making the mistakes he made last year that led them to a 6-10 record. While I've been talking a lot of Baker Mayfield trash, he's been serviceable. He hasn't made detrimental mistakes. So don't sleep on this Browns team just because they have, the orange helmets and, just the stigma around them. It's kind of the same thing as the Titans we've seen with it's the Titans. They're coming to town and we come in and shock people and upset teams. So it's kind of the same difference. Don't sleep on the Browns. This is a huge, huge, huge game when it comes to the playoffs. I'm glad that you said that. Glad you brought that up here at the end of the video, because we might be celebrating an early clinchmas, Justin. No more winning ends. No more anything, that kind of thing. So if the Titans can win on Sunday, it's going to just pretty much make them a lock, at least for the playoffs. But we want that AFC South. So 9-3 sounds a lot better than 8-4 to me. Let's go out and get this win. Let's kind of get these playoffs circled, get them in our grasp, and keep moving forward. You'd love to see this Titans team, especially with the first best rushing offense, second best rushing offense. See who's got the more hard-nosed football attack here. And I like the Titans in that. So tighten up, everybody. Have a great football weekend. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Justin, do you have any closing thought?
Just one, and it doesn't really pertain to this game, but I did want to rewind and correct you. You started out by saying these are not your grandpa's Browns. Well, technically, in the 50s and 60s with Jim Brown running the ball, they were a pretty dang good team. So I think this team is more like they are like their grandpa's Browns a little bit.
Not your father's Browns, but they are your grandpa's Browns. That's okay. That's fair. I like that.
Yeah. Not your older brother or older sister or father's Browns, but don't go grandpa because they were actually pretty good in the 50s.
Yes.
So yeah, but that was my one correction. But other than that, like flawless video, dude, flawless. We were
fair enough
on it perfectly. Anyway, all right, yeah. So yeah, you guys tighten up. Appreciate you guys checking us out, and stay tuned for our recap video of this game on Sunday, possibly Monday, because Jake is coming into town for that game. And I'm going to have to work on Sunday night. So it might just be better for us to delay the recap until Monday. But regardless, we'll have that out for you guys. So, yeah, you guys take care. Enjoy football on Sunday, on Monday, and I think Tuesday. Again, we're going to have a game. Wild times, 2020.
Wild times. Peace, everybody. Have a great weekend.
See ya.